Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 30-day tapping challenge. So, there are about 40 people who are participating in this 30-day challenge, and I just want to thank every one of you for your willingness to be a part of this process. I'm excited about what's to come. I have no idea what's going to unfold, but that's part of this process, I think. I wanted to spend a few minutes doing a refresher for folks, or maybe even an introduction for those of you who haven't done much tapping. Give a little bit of a background for where it came from, and then also to do a refresher on the points themselves. I just want you to know that this is gonna be a wabi sabi approach, which means that I'm not gonna edit. I'm just going to record and then upload to YouTube to a private setting so that only you all have a chance to see it. I'm going to then send a link to everybody so that you have a chance to take a look at the video. I expect that each one of them will be somewhere between 3 and 5 minutes, maybe 7. And just know that you're probably going to hear my dog walking around, my cat walking around or crying. He's on the other side of the door right now. But we're just going to keep rolling here. So where does EFT come from? So first of all, EFT is Emotional Freedom Techniques with an S, because it's actually a set of different techniques that involve the tapping. The best resource that I know of is thetappingsolution.com. Gary Craig, who's the founder of EFT, has a great website. It has all kinds of videos on it. And that's emofree.com, EMOFREE.com. So the first question is, where does EFT come from? EFT comes from, actually, it's a derivative of thought field therapy, TFT, which was created by Roger Callahan. Roger Callahan was a psychologist who had also studied traditional Chinese medicine and had one of those aha moments with a client who he had been working with who had a phobia. And this woman, Mary, I think is what she's been named, and Roger Callahan had been working for months on her phobia, and nothing had budged. So he just had one of those stroke of insights in the middle of a session and said, tap right here. Just tap right here and tell me more about what's happened for you. And after Mary told her story again about how she came to have her phobia, she, at the end of tapping, said it was gone. So fast forward, Roger Callahan taught a good number of people, including Gary Craig. Gary Craig himself is an engineer by training, but a performance coach by trade. And Gary, being an engineer, decided that all the points that Roger was using could be tapped in sequence instead of, as Roger had been doing, Dr. Callahan, by a particular sequence specific for the person, which is what traditional Chinese medicine does. So Gary Craig said, it's really not a problem if you tap all the points. It doesn't hurt. It could help. And so he condensed the whole process. Okay, I already had to pause it because my cat was crying loudly outside the door, and he wasn't going to stop until I opened the door. Anyway, so Gary Craig shortened and condensed the whole process. And it's actually been condensed even further. So the sequence that we'll be using is basic EFT. And I've divided it down into 9 different steps. This video I'll show you the points again, and maybe even refine them for some of you, and the process. I'm intentionally wore this necklace. You'll see why in here in a second. The first point is called the karate chop. That's on the outside of the hand. So thumb's on this side. It's on the outside opposite the thumb and in that fleshy part. So the karate chop is also the place of what's called the setup. And the setup statement is a statement of the issue or problem, along with an affirmation. And if you've worked with me, you know that we've modified the affirmation in lots of different ways, including I'm okay. But the recommended affirmation is I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So you say the setup statement 3 times, essentially. You can say it more than that or a couple of times, but 3 times, which is a statement of the problem and an affirmation. So it would sound something like, even though I have this stress, and honestly, the more specific you can get, the better. Even though I have this stress, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have this stress, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have this stress, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Now, you don't have to tap hard. And in fact, if you just want to hold the point, you can do that as well. The next point, usually according to the diagram, is called the eyebrow point. And that's just the edge of your eyebrow. So right where your eyebrow hits the bridge of your nose, then that's the point. If you tap with 2 fingers, you're sure to make sure to get it. So each of the points we're going to tap about 7 times. You can be more, but about 7 times. So that's the eyebrow. And then the next one, if you follow the eye socket all the way around to the side of the eye, that's what that one's called, on the bone. Side of the eye. And the next one, continue to follow the eye socket around to under the eye. That's what that one's called, under the eye. And the next one is just immediately under the nose. And above the chin, so in that indentation here. The next one is called the collarbone, and I intentionally wore the necklace so you can see that actually the collarbone point is, for me, right outside of where my necklace is. Usually if I'm in session, I'll take my necklace off because I end up patting like this, but for these videos, I'm going to tap right here like this. So tapping on one side or the other, it doesn't matter which side you tap on. So again, about 7 times. The next point is under the arm, and it's about 4 inches or so below the armpit. I'm going to tap this way for the purposes of our video rather than cross over. You can certainly cross over, but it's kind of hard to see on the video. So I'm going to tap this way. Again, that's under the arm. And the last one is the top of the head. And that's right in the center of the head. So there's a line that goes actually here and right down the center. And if you want to see from the side, it's actually right along, even with your ear. It would essentially be the place where we had our soft spot when we were really little. So those are the points. Karate chop. Again, it doesn't matter which side. I'll probably switch sides. Eyebrow, side of the eye, under the nose, above the chin, collarbone, under the arm, top of the head. I will probably start and end on the top of the head. It doesn't really matter. I find it just as helpful to go top to bottom and then circle back around. That's just the style that I've developed over the years. So the steps are, the first step is identifying the issue. So we're just going to take stress right now. And then we're going to identify the aspects that include the thoughts, the feelings, the body sensations of that issue. So we're going to move eventually from simple tapping to something that's a little bit more complex. Today, I'm just going to demonstrate really simple tapping, but you want to identify the different aspects, parts of the stress. Like I said, thoughts, feelings, body sensations. And then the next step, step 3, is to assess the intensity on a scale from 0 to 10, whereas 10 is the most intense that it could be right now in this moment, not when you were the most stressed 5 days ago, but right now in this moment. And then you start tapping. So my stress is really not huge right now. We'll say a 5 or a 6, I can still operate. And it's a 5 or a 6 in part because I'm both excited and stressed about getting this tapping challenge going. So it's going to sound like this. And you can tap along with me at the karate chop. Even though I have this stress, I love and accept myself. Even though I have this stress, I love and accept myself. Even though I have this stress, I love and accept myself. Again, we're doing simple tapping, right? Eyebrow, this stress. Side of the eye, this stress. Under the eye, this stress. Under the nose, this stress. Above the chin, this stress. Collarbone, this stress. Under the arm, this stress. Top of the head, this stress. And we'll do one more round. Eyebrow, this stress. Side of the eye, this stress. Again, it doesn't matter which side you tap on. I usually alternate. Under the eye, this stress. Under the nose, this stress. Above the chin, this stress. Collarbone, this stress. Under the arm, this stress. Top of the head, this stress. Now, take a deep breath, which is step 6. And step 7 is to reassess. On that scale from 0 to 10, what's the intensity now? And if I tune in, it's about a 3, and that's manageable for me. Ideally, we're going to continue to tap until it's down to a 0. But sometimes that's not feasible. But you can repeat as long as you want to until it's down to a 0. So that's simple tapping. Those are the steps. Step 1, again, is contacting the issue or identifying the issue. The second step is aspects of the issue, the thoughts, the feelings, the body sensations. The third step is assessing the intensity on that scale from 0 to 10. The fourth step is to tap, starting with the karate chop. The fifth step is actually to tap on the points. The sixth step is to stop and take a deep breath. The seventh step is to reassess, again, on that scale of 0 to 10. Eighth step is to keep tapping if you're not at a 0. And the last step is repeat as necessary. So again, thank you for being a participant in this 30-day challenge. I'm going to send you a couple of surveys along the way. It's your choice whether you participate or not, but I would appreciate it if you're willing. Again, thank you, thank you, thank you. We are going to have so much fun with this. And please make sure to email me if you have any questions or if you have comments. I really appreciate it. So take care. I'll see you soon.